This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with a UFO slash drone news update. There's been a lot happening in this domain recently, but let me just tell you guys one thing very quickly. I have been watching these news updates and interviews with a bunch of these UFO experts and military people. And my God, did they drag things out and make you watch for an hour to get like 10 to 15 seconds worth of good info. I'll just tell you guys one thing. I will never do that to you. I'll jump right into it and I won't waste time on crap. So let's jump right into this. This is funny. Dr. Stephen Greer has started a podcast here. But again, this is almost 72 hours ago, 2 days ago. So we got another little bit of time to go before he says he is going to be the one that's going to disclose everything within 72 hours of doing that podcast. So we're more than 48 hours. The clock is ticking, and I hope he does. I hope he actually releases something that is tangible enough to be actual disclosure at this point. Jeremy Corbell, and someone mentioned this in my wrestling update. This guy, I don't know. He's almost as arrogant as Stephen Greer. Not quite, but he's getting there. I saw a very funny thing of him on the Weaponized podcast he does with George Knapp, where he had to convince people he was friends with Lou Elizondo because people were insinuating that he was not friends with Lou Elizondo, and he has enough insecurity about himself to actually call Lou Elizondo and show that he's on the phone to prove to the viewers that he's actually friends with Lou Elizondo. God bless the guy. But again, that's a waste of time. Get to the damn point. We don't care if you're friends with Lou Elizondo or not. Anyways, he's made a very wild claim. He says, and he did this in a TMZ video on UFO revelations that again was very drawn out, that someone is going to make a claim as far as these 2027 claims that people have been alluding to including Lou Elizondo and Leslie Kane and Nick Pope, many others. He says the claim that's going to be made for 2027 is there is a UAP craft slowly making its way to Earth. He found out about this, Corbet, from a classified document from the 70s. And he says he's not going to talk about it to further initiate the lie, even though he's talking about it. He says he's not going to propagate it. And then went on to talk about it for several minutes. By the way, he always claims to be such a great martial artist. And I cover combat sports. And I've also won a bunch of grappling tournaments and numerous kickboxing fights. I don't see any tournament information on him or legitimate fight information on him. So anyways, there you go. This is the most anyone said about this thing that's supposed to happen in 2 years. So whether it's true or not, he's alleging that someone's going to make a claim that there is a craft coming, a giant craft coming towards Earth. In other news, which I already discussed this briefly, Ross Coulthart has an interview with a former military pilot, helicopter pilot, James Barber, who claims he was he's a whistleblower, part of a government crash remains program that was involved with retrieving an egg-shaped UFO, which there is a long history of egg-shaped UFOs. Apparently, there's 3 military veterans that back up his claims. Lou Elizondo has released a video about this, saying he has not vetted the guy, but he's happy that the guy is coming out about it. He's heard these stories before, but never in the public domain. He says this person has honorably served his country. He hopes that it makes others come forward. And again, he said, in one verbiage, he said he hadn't vetted the guy, but in another, He said that this guy was a highly trained tier 1 operator that Ross Coulthard is saying is the first guy directly involved in a UFO crash retrieval program to come out publicly about it. Ross Coulthard also interviewed the Tusscato Brothers, who I've also interviewed, scientific UFO researchers, about the drone situation in the New York, New Jersey area that supposedly is still happening. There's some New Jersey mayors that are even saying it's still happening, just to a lower level than what it was as far as the number of incursions. As far as what Ross Coulthard is saying, he doesn't think they are foreign because they're showing themselves very easily and loitering around a lot. And he thinks if these were spy drones, they wouldn't be doing that. He says, as far as the actual unknown ones, a lot of them are luminous orbs and spinning cubes that seem to be being observed by drones. They are rotating with some type of containment around them that looks like a spear. And they have been around since at least July 2022. They have late radar returns due to gravitational lensing. The objects are causing signal distortion. Something in the object is distorting gravity, and this could also be causing the change of colors of the unknown looking. We call them drones, but they're actually UAPs. Some of them appear to have anti-gravity technology. And if they were ours, and I do believe some of the actual drones are ours. As far as the orbs, I don't necessarily think they are. But this Coulthard mentions if they're, and the Tusscato Brothers also mentioned this, if they are our government testing this technology, why would they be doing it around commercial airports? I was just at Area 51 yesterday. I was actually there. The Dreeps with the camo dudes were in it watching me, and I sure didn't cross the line where you can get arrested, but I was right up to that line. Couple interesting things I'll say about it is there's cows roaming freely around that area, which is pretty cool. There is no speed limit the whole way until you get really close to the area. Then it goes to 45 miles an hour. It's really secluded, and there's kind of a trick. There's something called the Area 51 Museum, which is actually 3.5 hours away from Area 51. And it says that this Area 51 Museum, ask us and we'll tell you where Area 51 is. They did actually tell us where it was. And I also got double checked through a few other people. It's very hard to find the actual Area 51, but it's kind of a trick that they send people like me to this Area 51 museum thinking Area 51 is near it. But I had like several $100 cab ride to get to this museum from Vegas, or Uber ride, only to find out that this is just more or less a gift shop. That was cool to say I went to, but I'll save you guys the trip if any of you actually want to go to Area 51. It's not anywhere close to the museum. And let me just show you something else. Lou Elizondo messaged David Grush, and a lot of people have been wondering where he was. He has actually sued the sheriff department for $2.5 million back on July 16th, according to the London Times Mirror, for releasing personal information about him. And it's unknown if that lawsuit has been settled or not. But there you go. Things are getting interesting. Things are getting interesting again, and Donald Trump says he's going to reveal what the drones are on January 21st. So I'm looking forward to that.